So you ended up being put in Lorton's central facility, aka the Hill.
Yeah, the Hill. There you go.
And at that point, you actually formed a crew called the Youth Center Mob.
Well, actually, the Youth Center Mob came from the Youth Center. That's another part of Lorton. It's in Lorton, Virginia. And it's where the guys that had youth acts, from 16 to 26. So I had already been down there. So they sent me there first to finish up my my backup. And we developed that Youth Center Mob from the Youth Center, and some things happened at the Youth Center. So they shipped maybe about 20 or 30 of us out of the Youth Center to on the Hill. Now, when we got on the Hill, well, we heard stories prior to going over there how the older guys were raping some of the younger guys. For instance, certain guys that left there to go to Lorton, we would would later hear that, man, such and such just got raped over there, So when they send about 19 or 20, it might have been 30 of us over there, we just hit the ground like, hey, ain't none of that happened. We protecting all of the young guys. We're going to stick together. And that's what we done. So we became the Youth Center Mob.
Got it. And I mean, was rape a thing during those times?
Oh, man, it was commonplace, man. Honestly, I mean, you could walk out your dormitory and see somebody grabbing somebody, 2 or 3 guys throwing a coat over their head, and taking them into a dorm, and you have 20 or 30 guys lined up to rape them.
All right, and tonight we're learning new details of another case of rape inside the troubled Cuyahoga County Jail.
And for the second time in 10 days, it involves accusations that a corrections officer forced an inmate into sex. 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll has more on what he has uncovered.
That now former jailer was indicted by a grand jury here this week for sexual assault investigators say happened back in March 2019. 27-year-old Jalen Howard facing 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of kidnapping, 2 counts of sexual battery, gross sexual imposition, and public indecency. Investigators say Howard, while working as a Cuyahoga County corrections officer, forced an inmate, identified in court documents only as John Doe, into sexual contact. The Sheriff's Department confirms Howard was hired to work in the jail in September 2017, then resigned in August 2019. The same month, investigators began looking into allegations against him. It's not clear why Howard wasn't charged sooner. A county spokesperson said investigators spent the last few months conducting interviews, then turned the case over to the prosecutor this month. Howard's charges come a little over a week after another corrections officer, Andre Boxa, was arrested and charged with sexually assaulting 3 inmates inside the jail earlier this year. We're told investigators do not think the 2 cases are connected. Howard is scheduled to be arraigned on the charges early next month. In Cleveland, I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.
And new information now about another Cuyahoga County corrections officer facing charges. The 5 on Your Side investigators have now learned jailer Rion Cook has been charged with misdemeanor assault after an incident in the jail's booking area. The 47-year-old is accused of hitting a handcuffed inmate in the face. Cook is on paid administrative leave tonight.
Hello, y'all. Welcome to Bam Bam Rock TV. I'm Bam Bam, a.k.a. the 411 Giant. Hey, hit that like button, and I need subscribers, and hit that bell icon so you know my next video coming out. Now, this is a continuation of a subject that I talked about rape in penitentiary and in prisons. I had juvenile life in foreign school. I've been through the state, 2 different prisons in the state, and I also did 28 in the feds. Now, I still stand on percentage-wise of the people that's locked up and incarcerated in America. America got the largest amount of incarcerated people in the world, but I still say it does not happen as often as these people say, and it does not happen with that magnitude. I feel sorry for the people that it do happen to, because one time is too many. I don't agree with none of that. Nobody should be forced into no situation going on. So, but the thing is, and I can understand what some of these people think they're going with that. that scare tactic. It didn't work back then, and it don't work now. All them scare tactic program, half of the people they went through there, they going out. They did just as much crime as they were gonna do anyway. The people who didn't do nothing, they wasn't gonna do nothing anyway. If they could be that easily scared off about something, they hard wasn't in doing it anyway. So that's not that scare tactic is not gonna work for these young men, and it's not going. I mean, I applaud the effort. But if that's what you're trying to scare them with, these guys here, they sliders, they killers, they ain't, these little dudes, they may be misunderstood on a lot of things, but I don't think they scary. I think they men's, and I give them their respect on that. I do think they men's, and they should be taught and told, hey, you don't want to be in there. What you should be afraid of is not somebody come pulling up in your cell and going on. You should be afraid of losing your freedom. You should be afraid of being separated from your mama and she died while you incarcerated. You should be afraid of your child being raised by somebody else and never get to know you. You should be afraid of losing everything that you done put money into or that you done risked your life to get. That's what you should be afraid of. But y'all not going to scare these young men with these old stories and going on like that. But the truth of the matter is, I feel sorry for the people that it happened to. It have happened to people. But you got people either playing on people's sympathy or they trying to go viral by saying some old crazy thing. Like I said, I had juvenile life in foreign school, did 2.5 years. I've been in now 2 different states. I've been a Voice Correctional Center, which is Cottonport, and I've been to Hunts Population. I did two things in the state, and I'm in and out the parish jail. We don't have counties in Louisiana. In and out the parish jail. Now, my thing is, teach them the truth, then so they can think wisely and make a wise decision. Because I just don't believe these kids gonna go. These young dudes, 20 years old, and these little dudes, I met them, they men's, and they're not gonna go for the scare tactic. That's not gonna work. That's work on a 3-year-old baby. That it's not gonna work on these men's. You just teach them and talk to them like men's, and show them the benefit of doing something different and the loss, how much they lose if they go that way. But to get to the rape and going on, they have the other levels of rape would be what people say, and it was mentioned to me in my podcast, gang rape. So they're like, what's going on with gang rape? Okay, gangs generally, if you're a gang, you generally beefing with another gang. A gang is not beefing with an individual. A gang should not be beefing with an individual. An individual, when in the gang society, should be a non-factor. One guy come in there and he's coming there. He done got some time for something and going on, unless he a child molester. They do go at child molesters. If a dude done molested a child or done raped somebody, yeah, they will rape them. They will try to rape them, and they'll take the booty bandits and they'll convince they actually influence the booty bandits to go toward them, to go get them. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much set up that they do. I can't lie about that. But the thing is usually somebody like that, and somebody who have raped a child or raped a lady or whatever, done something to that magnitude. They feel like, hey, you did it to somebody, it should be did to you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the law. I didn't write it. But generally, gang people don't gang up on one individual. They get into it with other gangs there. So when people say a person was gang raped, if that gang of people exists, they was put together by the police. Why I say that there? Because the police use that fear to control the inmate population. It's probably 2 police to every 10 or 20 inmates. So they always looking for little devices to control people. So they'll sit here, like back in CDC, we had Thunderdome. Anybody they put in Thunderdome, there was a non-factor, wasn't there? They got beat up and ran out of there. So police use that as a threat. If an inmate, they tell the inmate, hey, you writing me up, or you doing this or that, or I told you to go over there and sit down. And you talking back to me? I tell you what, I'm gonna move you over in Thunderdome, Dome 4 next tomorrow. And dude get scared like, oh man, I ain't trying to go to Thunderdome. That's the same way they do with them dudes who be gang raping them. And they'll sit there and say, you want to go to Charlie Block? Everybody know that the dudes is gang raping people in Charlie Block. So if everybody know that a gang of dudes is raping the people in Charlie Block, you telling me the police don't know? And the people who doing it don't realize, well, some of them do realize that you working for the police. What you doing is you doing it for the police. You allowing the police to be able to manipulate and have power to take away somebody's rights over here. And going on. But a lot of those dudes who get together and they do that under the cloud of secrecy for the police, police got them tipped. The police punking them out because the police will tell them, I tell you what, if that boy Whoop come in here and he make it out of here, I tell you what, I'm going to start separating y'all. And they don't want to be separated because now they know they did all this bullshit when they was all 8 of them together and they was doing all this bull crap. Now when they get separated and they one-on-one, somebody going to knock their ass off. They going to knock their butt off, simple as that. So they scared to leave. They can't leave that. And so the police is playing two ends against the middle. And that's what they do. And so when they do, ain't nobody sit here can tell me you can find some pleasure in pulling out yourself and taking something from a man in front of 8 more people standing there watching like you're in a freaking orgy. Well, I ain't gonna say what's his name, Diddy. We ain't gonna do the Diddy thing, but it's just not normal. So in jail is not normal, and I agree with that. But that's my idea based on my experience. I'm 4'11", man. Now motherfucker put a sandwich on my bed telling me this, and now motherfucker put a honey bun on my bed telling me this here. If you put a honey bun on my bed, if you put a sandwich on my bed, I'm going to eat that sandwich up and come over there and try to stab you till I see tomorrow. I'm not going to sit there and look at that sandwich. Oh, man. When you do that, you're showing fear. You showing fear. The fact that, man, but look here. I eat that sandwich up right in front of him, and then I'm going to go over there and I'm going to stab him so many times. I'm going to whoop him with a lock. I'm going to do whatever I got to do. But he going to understand that you don't play with him like that. It ain't going to take but one time. He ain't going to play me like that. That ain't never happened to me. But I'm telling you, if it was to happen, that would be my recourse for that. And so now, I mean, to each his own, but I'm telling you, those people, when you gang raping somebody or doing this here because you scared the police gonna separate you or whatever reason you're doing it for, those dudes like easy targets. Those type of people like easy targets. If you just gonna lay down and turn up and put your butt up in the air and they see that, then that's what you in jail. You know what I mean? You're not in no boys camp. But you still supposed to be protected by the police to a certain extent. If you don't want to go in protected custody, then that's what you're going to have to deal with. When you decide not to go in protected custody and you can't take care of yourself, you're supposed to come out here ready to do anything that you have to do. You're supposed to stab, cut, get your razor blade cut. And once you start drawing the blood from the first one, you're going to get some respect from them. Those type of vulture type dudes that would do that type of thing do not want a hard fight. They do not like resistance. I mean, I'm saying this here in hopes that nobody go to jail and experience this. But they don't like it. They don't like it. Motherfucker done did something to you and he's sitting over there. If you over the thing brushing his teeth, you take that mouth ring and beat his ass beat his head into it ain't nothing but mush. And I mean that's my thing on that, and that would be my thing on the gang rape, and that's my perspective of it from the time that I've done. Like I said, I've been to farm school, LTI Monroe. I've been to 2 state joints, and I've been to the feds, and I've been to 7 penitentiaries in the fed, and 2 supermax and 1 medical in there. And so, and that's my take on it. Like I said, people entitled to disagree if they want to. ain't going on. Like I said, I have actually witnessed people get up and lie, and I was up there with them, and they was voluntarily doing shit that they I mean, it's crazy, and that, you know, for the sympathy and the pity of the people, you know, it just you playing with something that shouldn't be played with. Things like that should be sacred. It shouldn't be played with. You know what I'm saying? People should understand that, hey man, people have suffered from that. People have suffered from that. It has actually really happened to people. And for you to get on there and play with it just to get a few dollars or a few lakh, then that's discredit. That discredit all those people who actually suffered from that. And I don't think that's cool. But I'll move on to the next rape. Rape by officers. Rape by officers can happen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take the rape by officer and I'm gonna make that in another segment. I'm gonna complete this segment with the fact that, hey, gang rape does happen. It's usually in one of them little county jails or one of them little way back jail where the rednecks or the people that's the way they use that to keep control of the population. So they got the people that they get it. Boy, you can't give me some trouble, boy, and I'm gonna throw you over there. Ask anybody who be there. That's what you'll hear them say. Hey, boy, give me some trouble. I'm putting you over in Dome 4. If you know people beating up people over in Dome 4 and it's your job to provide safety for every individual in there, how is it still happening? When you can take everybody over there in Dome 4, you can split them, some going around and put them all in different units. So how is it still happening? It's happening consensual with your consent as the officer. You're allowing it and manipulating the people who doing it and using that to manipulate and put fear into people who scared to go over there. And that's it. And I'm gonna end that one on it. In the next one, I'm gonna talk about the officers, the staff raping of inmates. Hey, thank y'all again for tuning in. Y'all stick with me because I'm working on some things as far as surviving prison, surviving penitentiary, and the etiquettes of knowing how to circumvent a lot of bull crap or learning how to jump in it head first and take control of it. Either one or the two. You got to either circumvent these things or you got to jump straight in and make you got to make yourself known. This is what ain't going to happen around me. This is what's going to happen around me. This is what's going on. And it's simply that, and I'm willing to die for it, and I'm willing to kill for it. I'm going to give you both sides. I'm not just going to give you one side of the coin. I'm going to give you both sides, and the choice become yours. Hey, thank y'all again for tuning in on Bamm Raw TV. I love y'all. I appreciate all the support. Hit that like button. I need subscribers. And hit that bell icon so you know when my next video come out. Thank y'all.
A New Mexico police officer stripped of his badge and put behind bars is now facing a federal lawsuit for what he's accused of doing to a DWI suspect when he was supposed to be taking her to jail. KRQE investigative reporter Gabrielle Burkhart shows you the latest development in the case against Leon Martin.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law.
From cop to accused criminal. Former Isleta police officer Leon Martin is also facing a federal lawsuit, all stemming from what he's accused of doing with a DWI suspect he'd met on a prior call and friended on Facebook.
An inmate at the Valencia County Detention Center, New Mexico.
In a November 2021 phone call to her father from jail,
can you hear me? Yeah, hi Dad. Hi.
A 21-year-old woman who'd just been in a car crash and booked for DWI reveals what she says just happened to her at the hands of her arresting officer, then Isleta police officer Leon Martin.
You know the cop who arrested me? He was the one that hit me up on Facebook, Dad. And he told me not to say anything because I haven't showered. And whenever I get out tomorrow, I want to go straight to the hospital.
So he took you somewhere and did stuff with you?
This phone call is the first record of her sharing her story. She says Martin drove her to a remote area in Albuquerque, pulled over, and asked her to go to the driver's side, where she says she was raped.
Because they teach you fight or flight, but if it's an officer, you get charged if you fight and you get charged if you run. He even said that we could change the time on the paperwork.
She reported the rape and state police officers arrested Martin.
Where am I going to be going?
MDC.
Martin was booked into the Metropolitan Detention Center in November of 2021, charged with 2 counts of rape, false imprisonment, demanding or receiving a bribe, and violation of ethical principles of public service, all felonies.
To be honest, I do regret it. It did escalate, I'm not going to lie. I could have prevented it. I should have prevented it, but it escalated too far than what I wanted it to.
With his criminal case still pending, the woman is now suing Martin and the state of New Mexico for negligence, arguing the state, which trains officers for local departments and certifies them, negligently failed to properly train and supervise Martin. The lawsuit has reached federal court.
You could see at Loveless when I left. There's an hour and a half of time missing before I got back to the jail desk.
At the heart of her case is evidence that Martin drove her to a secluded road near MDC instead of straight to booking in Valencia County. The lawsuit against him states Martin turned off his radio and location data so that his whereabouts were undetected. In a recorded interview with state police investigators, Martin tried telling them he'd just gotten turned around.
I mean, you're going west when you should be going south. That's a huge difference. Is that what happened? You just took her up there because you knew it was a secluded spot?
Yeah, but no.
You obviously were wanting to have sex with her. If you didn't want to have sex with her, you wouldn't have had sex with her, right?
Well, she said that she did want to talk, and that's when it did escalate.
In that phone call from jail, the woman's father encouraged her to speak up right there and then.
I do not trust that in any shape, way, or form. In any way do I trust the police. I do not trust them.
Since his arrest, a judge agreed to keep Martin in jail pending trial, when a jury will decide his fate for the next 24 years. Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
Martin's criminal trial is set for June 12th. His attorney tells us, quote, "We're looking forward to exonerating him at trial." Meanwhile, the federal lawsuit against him is still making its way through the court system.